Nick, first off, how's your head? Did you get your glove on the ball?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thankfully, got most of my glove. Kind of just stunned me more than anything. It's very, very blessed that I was able to get that glove on it for sure.
I sent the video to Silk and we were trying to talk to him. He checked out of the show watching it.
I was trying to see if it connected or not. I couldn't tell, man.
No. I kind of laid there for a second because it happened so quickly, and I wasn't able to really tell until like afterwards because my head felt fine after. It just kind of stunned in the moment.
You're probably too young for this reference, but it's like Cool Runnings. It's like the Sanka, you dead man?
Yeah,
No.
that's yeah. I don't know that reference.
Cool
Real
Runnings.
quick
That's
story,
for
man.
us.
Real quick. Do you see this scar right here?
Yeah.
I was pitching, man. I was 11 years old. Pitch a ball, came back, knocked me out, man. Woke up in the hospital.
Wow.
I never pitched again, bro. I retired, dog.
He could have been one of the greats.
Yeah, I
If not
retired,
for that,
man.
he would have had a long MLB career. If not for that one pitch.
No, I was not even a good pitcher. We were just blowing the team out, and I was begging to get on the mound. So my dad like, yeah, get out there, and I get smacked in the face with the ball. I'm like,
It's like that. I'll
shit.
teach you. Oh man, so
Nick,
go
we're
ahead, Nick.
recapping the series a little bit. I want to know, what is it that you like about that turf mound so much? Back in 2019, freshman year, you had a great outing there, and then another one on Sunday night.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering the same thing. Me and my coaches were talking about that. I don't really know what it is up there that I pitched so well at, but I think it was just a very big start for me getting the rubber match on Sunday, getting the ball for that. I try to give my team the best chance to win on Sunday. Competing with the best stuff that I had that day, and the results kind of take care of themselves. So.
Where is we were talking about, I think it was before Mississippi State, I said Gators need to get to like 13 wins in SEC play to like make the NCAA tournament. And that's not even a conversation we're used to having talking about Florida baseball. But where's the team at now, kind of confidence-wise? Obviously, it was a rough stretch with Vandy and Arkansas and Tennessee. But getting a sweep at Missouri, getting 3 straight SEC wins, where's the team's vibe right now?
Yeah, we're all very confident. I think we were very confident even after that tough stretch because we know what we can do. We just weren't playing our best baseball as a team. I think that sweep at Mississippi State kind of got us going. And then obviously this past weekend at Missouri was a big confidence booster. It was a tough series, but it was a good series to win. And then, we got Florida State obviously tomorrow and South Carolina to end the season. So I think we're in a really good spot right now.
Nick, I want to ask you, I guess I like to start from the beginning because it gives us a little bit of perspective about where you're at now. How old were you when you got into baseball as like an idea that you could do something with it? What was it like in high school? Obviously, I know you got drafted when you were in high school as well, and then ultimately deciding on the University of Florida. Talk to us a little bit about how your life played out up until this point.
Yeah, actually, my main sport growing up was soccer. I was always big into soccer. Baseball is kind of like my side thing. I really enjoyed soccer growing up, and then right around 14 or 15, I kind of grew out of that, obviously. And I didn't really pitch much up until I was probably 14 or 15. My dad kind of took me slow into getting into that, and then like my freshman to sophomore year of high school is when I turned into a pitcher only. That wasn't really a tough decision for me. I wasn't fantastic at hitting, nor did I really like it as much as pitching. So yeah, it was kind of quick change for me. And then I came to a few camps in the fall and in the winter here at the University of Florida. My dad came here, so he kind of encouraged me to just check it out and see how I liked it. And it was kind of based just with Florida State, Florida, and UCF were my final 3. And believe it or not, I was very close to committing to Florida State. They were showing me a lot of love, and then came here. My dad was like, we already signed up for the camp, just go see how you like it. And then right when I got on campus, I was like, yeah, I think this is going to be it. And then Sully and Craig and all the coaches coming to my games as much as possible, showing that they really wanted me, kind of made it an easy decision for me. So.
Perfect. And I have a rooting interest in this, and I'll tell you here in a second. I'm curious, you guys brought on a new baseball coach, Coral Springs High School legend like myself, David Kopp, into the fold this offseason. What's Coach Kopp been like?
He's been fantastic. I think for a guy who's played for Sully too, I think he kind of knows where we're all at. He's helped a lot of the young guys, and helped a lot of the older guys mentor some of those young guys. So I think he's been huge for us. I think he's been huge for like kind of what to expect, not so much for the older guys, but for the younger guys when, the lights come on, how Sully reacts and, how it's supposed to be and, kind of like what to expect. So.
What was that? I guess because it changed. I remember the first time I watched Cop go out for a Mound visit. I was like, what? Because it's always been Sully. But I don't think you were back yet, and Sully's kind of taking that back over. Have you had Cop for a Mound visit in a game?
Yeah, I've had him a couple of times. Yeah, I remember everyone watching that for the first time. I was like, oh, that's new. That's interesting. I think they started out to where he would go out for all the visits themselves unless Sully really had something to say or wanted to say. But then for all the pitching changes, obviously Sully will go out there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think he's very calming. He's not so much, talking about what you're doing. He's just kind of seeing what headspace you're in on the mound and just trying to calm you down and kind of make light of everything that's going on. So I think that's been good.
Is that what a mound visit mainly is? Is just to try to calm you down and get your mind maybe focus on something else or?
Yeah. I think it depends on the guy. And also I think it depends on the coach too, going out there. I think Sully may have a few different things to say, like if he's, thinking about something that just happened, whereas you have a freshman out there in his first big environment, I think it's more to calm him down and just kind of go back to the basics. Whereas for an older guy like Sproat, let's say on a Friday, and he's starting to struggle a little bit, I think the mound visit may be different for him. So I think it just depends on the guy and the coach.
Much more tactical, or like, hey, here's the scouting report. This next guy coming up, instead of like a freshman out there. Hey, take a deep breath. There's 11,000 people here in Fayetteville. Just take a deep breath. You're fine.
Yeah, and I think having BT this year come in has been great with that too. I think he's very good at the mound visit. A lot of the times with him is we kind of talk about the pitch we want to throw next. We won't even put a sign down. We'll just talk about how we want to attack this next guy, get out of it, and then get ourselves in the dugout and give our team a chance to hit. So I think that's big.
What's your mental exercise, though? What are you telling yourself when you're struggling on the mound? Like, what's your process of calming yourself down before you get the mound call?
Yeah, I think coming back from injury has been tough, especially through the struggles that I've had at times this year. I think when you get the call to start, I think you have a lot of positive and feelings and also negative. I think they come and go, and I think you just have to take it with a grain of salt. And you kind of expect it, especially after you've been struggling. There's obviously negative thoughts that'll come in, but you just have to kind of trust, what I've done for the last year and a half, and not worry so much about the results because the results will take care of themselves. And, I know I've prepared as much as I can for the start or for the outing I'm about to have. So.
Yeah, let's so if you're a freshman year, you pitched well, especially pitched really well in SEC play, and obviously 2020 gets cut after 17 games. Nick was probably, I would say, from all the fall scrimmages I go to in 2021, was like right there with Tommy Mace, and I was like, either one of these guys could start on Friday. And then obviously you have the UCL injury and have to go through Tommy John. It's interesting because it's, I guess from the outside perspective, not having to go through the surgery, you're like, oh, it's common. Everyone gets Tommy John. It's a 12-month thing, and then you're back and you're fine. I'm guessing that's not like the first thought that you have when the doctor tells you that you have to do it. What was going through your mind, because it was so close to the season as well?
Yeah, we kind of try to make it like a positive experience as possible. I think that was probably the best time for me to have it if I was going to. Makes me ready to pitch some this season. But, it happened so quickly, like a week and a half, 2 weeks before the season even started. Got the MRI, and like 3 or 4 days before the season started, I was having the surgery. So it just happened very quickly. And like you said, it's a lot of people think it's so common that they don't really understand the mental struggles you go through on a daily basis with the rehab and, some of the sleepless nights you get after surgery because it's very uncomfortable to sleep. And I really thought that was going to be the toughest part. And the toughest part for me was coming back to the mound and trusting my stuff and being able to find my groove again, because it's so hard once you step on that mound in front of all those people. It's just a different feeling you can't replicate. So
I don't want to plant like any negative thoughts, but when you're talking about that, are you like worrying about like
the first time? A negative thought.
Well, no. Like the first time you get back on the mound in inter squad, and like the first time you try to throw a slider, are you like worried like, oh, can I do this? Do you take something off of it? When do you finally get back to the point where you're just like, hey, I just need to throw my stuff?
Yeah, I think I've gotten to that point. I think subconsciously your body still has, some reservations about
Push
it.
back a little bit.
Yeah, I think because my dad's a PT. He's done this
Mm-hmm.
before a lot with a lot of guys. He said around the 18th month to 2-year mark is kind of when you really pick back up, your velocity gets going again. So I think it's a time thing. I don't think really you can change anything mentally. I think I'm in the best mental headspace I've been in a long time with this. So I think it's just trusting the process and, keep going at it day by day.
You hear that, Silk? He said, shut up, Nick. Not listening to you. I'm in a great headspace.
No, man, Nick talking all that Nick Pogue for the listening. Nick Pogue talking all that lingo, man. I like everything he was saying right there, bro.
Nick, I know that this is a conversation that's we're starting to see more of these electronic pitch relayers. I don't know. I'm sure they have an official name. You have any thoughts on those? I mean, they seem to be more prevalent now in major leagues, and I think we saw Missouri using them this weekend. Is that right, Nick?
They were actually using like just numbers from the coaches, I think.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, the teams like Vanderbilt and
Vanderbilt, that's who it was.
Yeah, other teams throughout the SEC have started to use it. I heard we may have been trying to get that here through these last couple of weeks of the season. I'm not sure if that'll actually happen. I wouldn't be surprised if they started using them next season. I mean, I don't like or dislike them. I think just, getting the signs from the catcher works perfectly fine. I think having multiple sign sets, doing like how it's always been done is a good way to do it. I think other teams have different philosophies, but that's their opinion about it. So
I hate the pitchers with the wristbands.
Yeah,
everyone does, and it just looks so goofy. It's like you've got like a quarterback wristband on, and then you're staring at the dugout, then down at your wrist, and now you're pitching. It's like, give the catcher the pitch, let him relay it, and play baseball.
Yeah, especially with what they teach here, quick pace in between pitches and getting down the mound quick. I think that just takes a lot of time in between pitches. Whereas BT or Mac hears it from Sully, he gives a pitch, and we just go. You kind of keep it moving.
What was you mentioned BT earlier? What was like him showing up? I gave him his props as the best walk-up song on the team, but he walks up to "Party in the USA" by Miley Cyrus.
Yeah, he said he's had that all 4 years of college at Coastal, so he's definitely a fan favorite with that song.
What was he like? Oh, sorry, go ahead, Sil.
No, go finish that question.
What was he like? Because he comes in smaller school. But an older guy, someone who has some experience. Does he fit right in? Does he kind of like get in where he could fit in? What was it like when he first got to campus?
Yeah, me and him lived together this year, him and
cool.
Chris. So, I've gotten to see him on and off the field. But, I mean, on the field, he's great. He's a very outgoing person. He's very excited, very positive attitude every single day, no matter what, if we just lost the series, swept the series. It didn't matter. He showed up every day, the same BT. I think he's a great mentor for the young guys, getting them through tough innings. I think he's just a great presence on the field because you want your catcher to be your leader on the field. So I think he fills that role perfectly.
Elaborate on that pacing in between pitches.
So a lot of the like kind of what they teach here, Sully, as you get the ball, he kind of wants you to not really so much think about, what's going on, just getting on the mound and making the hitter as uncomfortable as possible. I think, working quick doesn't really give the hitter a lot of time to think or get kind of comfortable in the box. And I think that's a main thing as to what we strive for here.
Gotcha.
You guys were not making any friends early on in the year. Like it was like the first 8 games, every team, every game at some point looked back at the umpire and was complaining about quick pitching. Yeah,
Sully loves it. And then, when they do call time when we're in the middle of the windup, Sully will let them hear about it. But every time we have a practice and we talk about things like that, he just keeps reemphasizing, working quick, making them uncomfortable. It's your mound, it's your time, you control it, and don't let the hitter control it.
I like it.
Nick, I know I've got 2 questions. One is, I know you were drafted right out of high school. Was that something that you thought of when you did get drafted by the Rockies, or were you pretty set at just heading straight to college?
I was probably like 95% on coming to school. I obviously, heard what they had to say about it and all that, but my mind is pretty much set on coming here. I think, my parents have been a huge part of my life. They've
Mhm.
re-emphasized how important school is. So we've always had that kind of mindset of always coming to school, getting my degree, and then, because baseball will be there after college, whereas college you can only go to once. So
Well, and then you came in, you got your degree in 3 years. I just want to make sure I get all of your accolades here. You were SEC first year academic honor roll, 2020 academic honor roll, 2021 SEC academic honor roll, and then you graduated last May. Degree in psychology. You're getting your master's right now, or?
So it's kind of a 1-year degree in like degree certificate in sport management. It's kind of keep me eligible for the season, but also taking some classes. So because like if I were to sign this year, I wouldn't have started like a year of my master's and then have to pick that back up, whenever I choose to do that. So it's easier this way.
Gotcha. But that's awesome, man. Great job.
Thank you.
Well, that feeds into the next question, which I guess has to be asked. Everyone has a COVID year, so I think you're obviously draft eligible, but you would still have an opportunity to come back. So is that something you just kind of see how the rest of the season plays out, how the draft handles itself, and make a decision after the year?
Yeah, I honestly we were thinking about me going to play somewhere in the summer if I wasn't going to be able to pitch a ton, just coming off the injury. But these last couple of weeks, I've been able to get some more starts. And so if it keeps up the way I want it to, I don't think I'll need to do that. And I think the draft will take care of itself. And if it doesn't, then yeah, I'll definitely be back here. So
nice place to pitch. I remember messing with Tommy about that before like the COVID year and all that. I was like, man, you can come back and pitch in this nice ballpark again.
Yeah. That was nice to have both of them, him and Jack, back last year.
Mm-hmm. What I think I can't remember who was talking about it. When did you guys have like a realization? And it probably happens with every team. You kind of probably take it for granted because you guys have been every day, 5 days a week, 6 days a week since the fall, practicing. When did it hit you guys that like, hey, this season's almost over, and this is the last time this team will play? Because it seems like at some point, I saw the video after Sunday's win and there was no Rufio. It was like broken up with family. And I'm like, when did the realization that, hey, we can't take any games for granted, any days for granted because our days are limited as a team together?
Yeah, I mean, I think throughout the struggles, obviously everyone's thinking about that. But I think we all came together as a team and we're saying, like some of these guys may not play baseball at all after this year, and some are obviously freshmen are going to come back. So it's the last chance we really have, because in pro ball, it's not the same team environment as it is in college baseball. So I think we all just kind of realize we have to come together, play for each other, and, not really worry about so much the wins and losses because they'll take care of themselves. But we all believe if we play our best baseball, the wins will take care of themselves. So, and for me, coming off the injury, I've definitely been able to see that more than anyone, knowing that, not every pitch is going to be there the next day. You have to be appreciative that you can throw today, and because it can just change like that. So
good words of advice. Nick, as we wrap up, we want to move off of baseball. We want to find out some of your favorite restaurants in Gainesville.
Believe it or not, I haven't been to any one of these high-end steakhouses in Gainesville.
Oh, Nick will take you.
Yeah,
Ember's eligible. Yeah.
We need to wrap up here. Ember's closes at 9, and I got to get to dinner tonight. We're going tonight.
He need friends, bro. He ain't got his old lady out of town for months, bro. He needs to eat with him, stuff, man.
If you need a friend, Nick's there.
Yeah, there's a couple. I'm big into Mexican food. I've always liked Chewy's, but just kind of like the staples. Like I'm big in Chipotle. I know Nick is a big Moe's over Chipotle guy. I've seen it.
That's tough.
I actually the last year I've been big into like kind of cooking my own meals 5 or 6 times out of the week as much as I can. I know it's harder throughout the season when we get food and we're always on the road, but I've been big into kind of changing into that. So
how many times a week did Nathan Hickey eat relish?
I never really saw him always going, but from what I heard, at least like 3 or 4 times a week. It was a lot.
I don't blame him.
Relish is good, and the way he was playing, I don't think anyone's gonna tell him no. So
no, not at all.
Baseball players, y'all diets get to be a little bit more funkier, bro. Y'all don't have to work out the same either.
Yeah, it's different. You know, we have all shapes and sizes for guys. So
Yeah, man.
Baseball, all shapes and
All shapes
sizes.
and sizes.
Yeah.
That's definitely the name of the show.
That's
Yeah,
the episode.
that's
All
funny.
shapes and sizes.
Um,
Listen, Bartolo Colon, big sexy. That is the body of peak performance.
Yeah, but then you have guys like Noah Syndergaard who are, you know, ripped out of their minds and
Mhm.
in the big league. So it's definitely an interesting sport when it comes to that. So
Word up.
where are you going? Midtown, downtown? Which bars you going to?
I don't really go out.
This is my
I
guy
mean,
here, bro.
Just
It's-
focus.
They got Malcolm X
Yeah,
glasses,
hey.
man. He got all the right, positivity stuff. He's speaking that lingo. No, he ain't got time to party,
Yeah,
man.
coming off an injury, you can't be doing that. It's definitely things like that will hold me back. So I try to come back as quickly as I could. Yeah, for this past year, I've really just kind of watched how I ate, like my nutrition, my workouts, my supplements, all that stuff. So this year's been really big on that for me.
That's why Nick Pogue has been drafted, is playing at Florida, will be drafted again, and why I played Division III baseball. Because if I had Tommy John, I would have been in my sling at Salty. I would have been the entire year. I'd have been doing my PT
Salty and relish.
at social.
Yeah, getting that buffalo mac and cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
and several drinks.
Yeah, I've been around you. Several is anywhere between 8 and 12, Nick.
All right, what
Nick,
are you, my sponsor? Calm down.
Appreciate you keeping your private business your business, right? Nick, I'm not sure if you're big on social media, but let everybody know where they can follow you.
Oh, wait,
if you are,
Corey, you're skipping Corey's question.
Oh,
Best hands on the team, Nick. Best hands on the team.
Best hands on the team. I'd probably have to say Josh, being our shortstop or middle infielder.
Not those hands.
you thought he was getting out of here easy.
No.
And
Old fashioned fisticuffs.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't seen many guys fight around here. I can tell you that.
Yeah, you
Baseball
haven't been to
fights
the
are
bars.
baseball fights are more
That's
yelling
like-
and pushing.
Yeah, they're all show.
Who's the best trash talker on the team then?
Ooh, that's
Josh
trash
is loud.
talker. BT's good. BT, I wouldn't call him a trash talker. I think he stands up for our team as a whole. I think Tucker Talbot's a good trash talker though when it comes to just individual guys. But I think BT's a good kind of role model and sticking up for our team as a whole.
I noticed it. So I'm normally at the games, but I noticed because I wasn't in Missouri. Ryan Slater looks a little bit like a psychopath on the mound. They zoomed in on him, and he was just like talking to himself,
Really,
almost like Max Scherzer, like grumbling angrily to himself on the mound. I'm like, okay,
well,
what's
he's
happening
a
here?
super quiet kid off the field. So
Mhm.
I mean, there's always guys like that who are way different on than they are off the field. I wouldn't surprise me though. Going back to David Kopp, he's kind of taught us a lot about the mental game, and I wouldn't be surprised if that's what he was doing.
Looks like it. And BT reminds me of a miniature version of Sully.
I got more
Yeah.
questions, man.
Both catchers, they're very similar.
Yeah, very very similar. Very heart of a lion type of guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a good comp.
Nick, what type
Good
of
comp.
mental exercises you do, to stay tapped in as a pitcher? Because it's such a mind game.
Yeah. This past year, I've actually worked with a mental performance coach. Just kind of honing those skills in because I think those are just as important as your skills on the field. So a lot of it is just kind of being where your feet are, not really worrying about the past or the future, just kind of worrying about the present moment. Cops been big into that too. A lot of the stuff we've talked about relates to mental performance. I think one of the big ideas with us that we've been thinking about the last week or so is, for 200 feet in front of you. The analogy he used is if you're going to drive across the country in the middle of the night, you can get there, but you can only see 200 feet in front of you with your headlights. I think that's just kind of how we look at the season is, our 200 feet right now is Florida State. It's not South Carolina. And, as a pitcher, my 200 feet would be my first inning, getting those first three guys out. Even to get into more details, my first pitch, my first batter, working that guy, getting him out, and then worry about the next guy. So I think that's a big thing that I've been working on.
Dope.
Nick, you're on mute.
Yeah.
I don't know how much you guys get out. What's the best SEC town you visited?
I would have to say Nashville, but that's a little biased because it's being Nashville.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed Athens when I
Okay.
passed my freshman year and then this year. So yeah, I've been there 2 years. I think probably
You
that.
don't get to go to Athens, man. So that's good to hear.
Yeah, Athens for sure.
Football fans don't really.
Never been to Athens. I've never been to Athens and Auburn. I've been everywhere else. And there ain't nothing in Auburn. There's Auburn High School, Auburn University, and that's it.
Yeah, there was nothing in Starkville, that's for sure.
No, there's nothing in Starkville. What year did we go there with Mullen? It was his first year, so that must have been like
18?
17.
Yeah.
My buddy who covered Mississippi State, he goes, "Oh yeah, we got a Burger King last year." And I'm like, "What do you mean you got a Burger King?" He's like, "Oh, it was the first one in Starkville." I was like, "Excuse me, the year 2018, 17 of our Lord, and you're just getting Burger King in Starkville?" I'm like, "What is happening?" So,
Yeah, when we flew in, all we saw was just a little town, and you could see everything in it. And that's about it. It's just woods everywhere.
That's it. Just a little outcropping in between the woods.
Yeah, but those fans filled that stadium up for sure. So
Well, not a lot of other options there.
No,
no,
the Burger King was closed for the game.
yeah,
the whole town shuts down. The BK Lounge is closed until the ninth inning's over.
yeah.
Man, Nick, we'll let you run. Where's a good spot where people can follow you on social media and continue to root on you in your career?
Yeah, my Instagram is _Nick Pogue _. That's usually mainly where I'm at. So,
Hey man, thanks for hanging out, Nick. Appreciate the conversation, man. It was dope.
thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely,
Appreciate
man. Best
it.
of luck
Good
with
the rest of
everything.
the way, man.
Thank you guys.
We'll talk to you soon, brother.
See ya.
Nick Pogue, good conversation.